Hey everyone. As I always say, there are three things that are inevitable for anybody who's aspiring to become an entrepreneur or a CXO or a business head or an investor. One of them is sales, another one is communication, and third one is finance. Now, if you are not from a finance background, you don't have to worry. There is always a scope for learning finance, being from non-finance background, through the multitude of a lot of courses out there. And today's video I'm going to cover a few books. There are around 5 or 6 books I have, because I came from a non-finance background and I picked it up. Although it took me a long time, it was a steep learning curve, but to learn finance, I would start with few books which would be easily affordable and available from any library that you want to, or you could download in your Kindle. Now, some of the books that I found it useful are right on my table. So let me start with the first book. It was like, the finance for dummies kind of thing. It's called The Finance and Accounting for Non-Financial Managers. This book is written by Steven Finkler, a pretty famous author. And he is a CPA, and he is an expert in accounting and financial management. So this is particularly for people who are new to the management field. If you are a new manager or getting into a CXO level, this could be a good book to start with. Finance and Accounting for Non-Financial Managers. I have put it on the screen too. Now, the second book I found it useful is How Finance Works. This is written by Mihir Desai, and it's a Harvard Business Review publication. He is the professor of finance at Harvard Business School and professor of law at Harvard Law School. So he's a pretty good author, and this covers everything about numbers that you want to learn about. And it is pretty it's pretty explained pretty well in terms of cash flows, accounting, balance sheet, and all of that. So it's a recent book I got my hands into, and although I had learned over the last 12 years through going through multitude of annual reports and balance sheet, this one I found it very useful and handy, that I keep it on my bookshelf. The third book, if you're planning to get into the financial statement analysis and arriving at valuations as an investor, or as a public market investor, private equity investor, or a businessman, then I would say there are two books which is pretty exhaustive, pretty big ones, huge volumes. Like, it's called The Financial Statement Analysis and Security Valuation, written by Stephen Penman. The third edition is what I'm referring to. It's a very good book that you can find with a lot of examples, real-time examples, practical examples. So it's a good idea to have this in hand, because most of these books, in fact, it's a good idea to buy it and keep it in your bookshelf, because it helps you to refer to whenever you have doubts. The fourth book I would say is the interpretation of financial statements. It was the Benjamin Graham and Spencer Meredith book from none other than Benjamin Graham. So I would say it's a must-have book for any investor, aspiring investor. I think this book was first published in 1937, so it's almost 80-90 years back. And it directly, there are many examples, and he has explained the formulas with examples and all that. So Benjamin Graham, it's coming directly from the horse's mouth. So I think it's a must book have. I think there is another version of this called The Interpretation of Financial Statement based on Warren Buffett's analysis. Maybe you can have that also. You can buy that. And the final book is Financial Statement Analysis and Valuation, second edition, written by a group of authors: Peter Easton, Mary McAnally, Patricia Xiao Jung, Robert Halsey. So a group of authors has written this book. It's the best book I would refer to for any sort of financial statement analysis. So this has roughly I would say 1,000 pages. Not to scare, but you don't have to go through everything, but there are a lot of practical examples. The real balance sheet they have taken and explained, the real annual reports they have taken and explained. Honestly, the calculation of how to arrive at a NOPAT, that is net operating profit after tax, is something you need to go through in this, because that they have explained beautifully, how to segregate the operation aspect and the financial aspects when you arrive at the operating profits, and that helps in arriving at the return on invested capital and all of that. So this is a must-have book. If not any to but to start with the list I had explained earlier, I put it on the screen also for easy reference. Just wanted to bring it up. In the next video, I'll probably publish a set of courses that you can take if you're from finance background or non-finance background, to just cement your understanding if you're already a finance background, or to learn from scratch, after reading these books. So that'll be the next in series. Just wanted to bring this up. Thanks for staying with me. Signing off, Sandeep Anand.